All right, back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Stoneyard Brewing Company out of Brockport, New York, and this is their Everyman IPA. So this is an American IPA brewed with oranges, comes in at 5.5% alcohol by volume, 40 IBUs, and at the time of review, this beer is about 3.5 weeks old. So Stoneyard, I haven't reviewed anything from them on the channel because up until recently, they did not package their beer. So they started canning their beers recently. They canned this one and their Ellsworth IPA, and they're starting to get distribution into Western New York and Central New York. I think they're trying to go statewide in the next couple months. So if you're in New York State, you should see their beers at some point in the near future. And that's a great thing because I like what Stoneyard does. I was first introduced to their brewery about 3 years ago, and over the past couple years, I've hit up the brewery a couple times, and I've tried to get any of their beers on tap when they show up here locally. And I actually check out their their spring beer fest. I forget the name of it, but each year it is the best bang for buck beer fest that I can think of in the Western New York area. I think it's 25 or 30 bucks, all you can drink for 4 hours. And there are some really good breweries from New York State that show up there with some awesome beers. So it is a great time, and I'm probably going to go to it again in 2019 because great deal, great value. And yeah, so anyway, if you see Stoneyard in your neck of the woods, start picking up some of their beers because they make pretty good stuff. And this is one that I've never had before. So again, this is an American IPA. They're brewing it with oranges, and that's all I know about it. I've never had this one before. The other one that they canned, the Ellsworth IPA, I've had before, so I didn't want to pick it up and review it. I wanted to review this one first, and here we are. So getting into glass. So they pretty much do the New England style of things when it comes to their beers. Just to be forewarned, if that's not your jam, that's not your jam. You might hear a train in the background, and that's because the train's going by. So I poured that like an idiot. So we got about a 3-finger off-white head. Has a very nice deep orange color, very hazy. Looks beautiful, honestly, in the 5th frame glass. It looks beautiful. It really does. So let's get a nose on it. Oh, inhaling the beer. Like I said, if you don't inhale the beer, you're doing it wrong. Definitely get a little bit of that orange. I don't know if they're just using orange peel or actual like the entire orange, or just the orange flesh, the orange pulp. I don't know what they're using in this, but definitely get a big orange vibe. They're also using flaked oats. Obviously, so many New England style IPAs use flaked oats or flaked wheat to kind of get the body and mouthfeel correct. Trying to fight through this head, but there's a lot of orange. Orange and tangerine. There's like this slightly acidic vibe. Ooh, a slight like a musty grape component too. I don't know what they're using for hops in this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like an Australian or New Zealand hop, a down under hop. Yeah, I'm not picking up a whole lot outside of that acidic orange and a little bit of that musty white grape. So let's get into it and see what it has to offer. Yeah, it's nice. That body and mouthfeel, really nice. The body's like at 5.5%. This is drinking like straight up medium body, which is tough to do. There's so many beers now I drink under 6%. Like if they hit medium body, I'm like into it. It's kind of impressive because so many beers are thin, right, Eric Gilbert? Yeah, it has a smooth creaminess to it from those flaked oats. The taste though, there's a lot of orange here. If orange is your jam, then you would love this beer. Every single part of the orange is there. Juicier flesh of the orange, more of like an orange pith too, like an orange peel bitterness on the back end. The base malt is there a bit too. I mean, this ever so slight crackery, biscuity malt character. The finish is semi-dry and moderately bitter, which is nice because I do enjoy the bitterness. There is a balance here that I'm digging. Yeah, very easy drinking. There's nothing to me that's amazing about this beer. This is not, I think blow anybody's socks off. But I think a 6-pack of these 12-ounce cans was like 12 bucks. So you're talking like $2 a can. For $2 a can, this this is a pretty tasty beer. As far as a beer in general goes, it's a very nice, easy drinking 5.5% IPA. You could even call this, I guess, if I was doing this blind, I would mistake this probably for a pale ale. It doesn't have the, I guess, intensity that so many IPAs have from a flavor standpoint. But what's here is pretty good. So if you're in the Western New York area, or if you're in New York State at all, and you see this beer and you like oranges, seek this one out. Pick it up for a couple dollars a can. You can't go wrong. I'm going to give that a solid, I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. Everyman IPA from Stoneyard. It's a good beer. Nothing wrong with it. Lacks complexity to a degree, but I think what they're going for, it's a very drinkable IPA, sub 6%, and it has oranges in it. You can taste the orange. It's, I guess, kind of what they're going for, so I can't really fault it from that perspective. But as an overall beer goes, 3.75 out of 5 because it is good, but nothing mind-blowing. So appreciate you guys stopping by for another Western New York Wednesday. Be on the lookout next week for another edition of Western New York Wednesday, where I review, I don't know, because I don't really schedule these in advance. I'm just like, hey, that beer's from the Western New York area. I'm going to review it. So I guess we'll find out together what I review next week. Anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.